What is good with my people out there, man? It's your round. Pack Boy Dolo checking in with another episode of the Round the Clock Thinker Show, man. And look, today I just want to give a real quick shout out to this other sparkling water that I've been sipping on. San Pellegrino. Shouts out to San Pellegrino. Look, San Pellegrino. You don't have to pay me. It's all cool. I'm a small channel over here. I get to say whatever I want to. You feel me? But what you could do, what would be cool, right, is for you to send Dolo a case of these motherfuckers. Like 12 to 24 of these. I'll be good. I'll hit your email. You dig? But I'm sipping sparkling water. Shout out to my people out there, man. You already know that the show is brought to you by the Treeway Winterwear Collection, man. Cop the Drip is in the description. You dig? Also, make sure you go check out the Pretty Much Understanding. The ebook is available in the description. And you can also get the Amazon physical copy in the description. Audio book coming soon. Y'all gonna really fuck with it. I'm telling you. I'm excited to record that motherfucker for you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You dig? But the name of today's show, man, we're gonna get into it. The name of today's show is The Psychology of Comparison. And I'm gonna try to make this one short. I'm gonna try to keep it condensed. But it's a lot of information, and I know that I'm gonna have to make a part 2 to this because we won't even get into inferiority complex and what superiority complex and inferiority complex and the difference. And some people just they're just inferior, right? Which is labeled, according to Adlerian psychology, as a good thing. Inferior, to be inferior, is labeled as a good thing, but we'll get into that on the second show. You feel me? So right now we're gonna chop it up about the psychology of comparison. What do I mean by that, right? And it sounds self-explanatory, but you know your boy go deep, and I like to give the meanings. So what I mean is, we all compare ourselves to someone else. Instead, we should compare ourselves to who we were as individuals yesterday. Now, I'm going to say that again. We all compare ourselves to someone else, when instead, we should compare ourselves to who we were as individuals yesterday. We about to talk about it, man. Real talk. So, how I broke this down is, when I took notes, I went back from the beginning. I wanted to break it all the way down to you. We went back all the way to the beginning. Check me out. Chapter 1. How it all began. Our ancestors used to want to be accepted by the crowd so that they could survive. This shit was all about survival at the beginning. At the beginning, everybody just was trying to survive. They were trying to survive the saber-toothed tiger and sharing gathered goods. That's why they would hang out. That's why they would stick around and be in the crowds and be accepted by the crowd, right? Because it was all about survival. They had to stick together. You see what I'm saying? They had to. On top of that, when they hunted in bigger groups like that, they were able to kill bigger prey, right? They were able to get bigger kills, and on top of that, they would scare off any of the big animals that could basically catch one of them alone and do them bad, like a saber-toothed tiger, right? But you fast forward to nowadays. Now it's all about who is better or worse. And it's not about surviving and providing for the family anymore. Right? It's not about that anymore. That's where everybody, they went wrong when they left the crowd, right? Then they start comparing themselves to other people that was in the crowd when they left the crowd. So instead of it being a collective thing, it became a selfish game on who could one up the other. More power. You see what I'm saying? This selfish nature of man. Period. We're about to talk about it, man. Let's roll into chapter 2, the illusion of winning and losing. I feel like I mentioned this in one of the other shows, you know what I'm saying? But it's an illusion to think that you're a winner and they're a loser. Or you're a loser and somebody else is a winner. It's an illusion. It's an illusion to think that you're right and someone else is wrong. Or someone else is wrong and you're right. School taught you that shit. School taught you to compare. Okay, I must be dumb because that person gets all A's, they get all the certificates, they get basically rewarded for reading some shit, remembering it, and then we get tested on it. They just mark the answers that they remember, right? And it was labels put on this stuff. It was labels put on us. In reality, it shouldn't be no labels. There isn't any labels. Only thinking makes it so. So winning and losing, that's an illusion. And I know I sound fucking crazy. I know I do. But it's truth. Look it up. Right? And once you get rid of that comparison in your mind, like, shit, I must be losing because that person over there has a car. That person over there has a crib. That when you get out of that mindset and you focus on what you was doing, what you're doing, who you were yesterday, before long, you'll have everything that other person had. But you sitting there and you comparing yourself to them while not having anything and while not thinking about who you were yesterday. You're just looping. You're the same person. They're growing. You're comparing yourself to them. They probably have no idea. That person over there, 9 times out of 10, they're focused on their personal processes. They don't give a damn about what you doing or thinking or who comparing themselves to them. They don't give a damn. Look, it's people that got more than them. It's people that has a bigger car than the person you comparing yourself to. It's people that have bigger cribs than the person you comparing yourself to. You see what I'm saying? It's all an illusion. And you label yourself as a loser, which keeps you stuck. When you get rid of winning and losing labels, you become free. You become free. Now, this next start point I got is this. It's very important. Check it out. We are forced. We are forced to dislike ourselves by not wanting to be hurt by other people. I'm going to say that again. We are forced to dislike ourselves by not wanting to be hurt by other people. Now, instead of at the beginning, how it began, when other people was someone who helped us, our comrades, we was a collection. We were going against the saber-toothed tiger. That way everybody could eat, everybody could survive. Now we're forced to dislike ourselves individually by not wanting to be hurt by other people. Wow. So now basically other people becomes the saber-toothed tiger. Another person becomes the saber-toothed tiger. This puts us in constant defense and fight or flight mode. You constantly comparing yourself. Constantly. Thinking way too much. I'm going to do a show on that. at another time about how we need to stop thinking. But thinking way too much, putting labels on shit. I'm a loser. That person has a better car. That I'll never have such and such. I was raised by a single mom. All these excuses that you make. All this shit that you make up at the end of the day doesn't even matter. And you will realize that once you stop comparing yourself to other people. It doesn't matter what they're doing. You have your own playing field, your own equipment, and you were born with that. Right? It's not fun to be in constant defense and competition and fight or flight and watching everybody progress and making yourself seem like the loser. You beat yourself up. You creating all these scenarios and concepts in your head that doesn't even matter. They won't matter tomorrow. They won't matter next week. They won't matter a month from now. They won't matter a year from now. They damn sure won't matter once you grasp the concept of not comparing yourself to others. You feel me? So let's roll into chapter 3. Chapter 3 right here. I said you have to grow to have the courage to be disliked. You have to. If you don't grow into the type of person that don't give a damn what nobody is thinking about you, and if they like your opinion of your honest opinion on something, or if you feeling something and you scared to vent it, you're not free. You're not free. You're holding that shit in. And when you hold it in, it creates anxiety. Actually, it creates depression, and then you don't like yourself. When you don't speak your truth, you don't like yourself. Period. Right? So look, check me out. This first start point I got right here is this. This means you accept that it is basically impossible to not get hurt by others, and you could never be in competition with anyone but the person that you were yesterday. You have to realize this. All this other competition shit, winner, loser, bigger car, bigger house, best car, best house, best bitch, badder bitch, not so bad bitch. All this is subjective information. Tall, short, faster, slower. Subjective information. I would much rather be like a turtle and move slow as a turtle if I'm moving my way towards where a fucking tornado is spinning. That'll give the tornado time to go away. If I'm moving like a turtle, right? If I'm moving like a rabbit and the tornado is behind me and I'm fast, I could get away from the tornado. It's subjective. So which one is best, the rabbit or the turtle? It's subjective. It's all situational based. Different situations. A tall person will be good at reaching something on the top shelf. A shorter person will be good at making someone feel more safe because they're not much of a threat. They could duck down under low. If a car or something was sitting really low and they needed somebody short enough and small enough to fit into a confined space, then the smaller person is the better bet. The taller person is the better bet to get something on the top shelf. It's all subjective. You feel me? This is psychology of comparison. And what we do, we sit there and we talk about this person is better than me, or this person has something way better than me, when in reality, that's an illusion. You just beating yourself up and fucking yourself over. And it's all programming. You've been programmed to think that way. So I'm not blaming you. I'm just trying to wake you up. I'm trying to wake you up. Once you wake up and see this, you'll be free. You'll spend most of your day in a joyful state. You won't be tripping about shit. You won't be thinking about shit all the time. You'll be chilling, catching a vibe, understanding. Look, I'm the shit. Listen, I was blessed with what I came here with. I look how I look. I dress how I dress. Only thing I could do is make the best of that equipment. That's it. I cannot be comparing myself to somebody else. That will put me at a halt. And when I'm at a halt, then I'm looping and I'm steady. I'm repeating the same actions, the same thoughts, while watching somebody else progress, because they understand they're unique. They have their own unique experience, their own unique wife, their own unique kid, their own unique family situation. Everybody's different and everybody's equal. We're about to roll into it right now. We're about to roll into the next start point. I was just breaking down to you how value is subjective. In other words, to be better is actually subjective, right? Remember the example about the turtle and the rabbit, and remember the example about height. You know what I'm saying? And we can go do another example. A crib, right? A bigger crib would fit better for someone who likes big shit, right? They need a lot of room. They throw a lot of group parties. They have a lot of business meetings. You know what I'm saying? They know a lot of people. They have a big network. So therefore, they make more. They make millions. A bigger crib would be better for them because they have to network and throw and host parties and shit like that with very successful and wealthy people. So a bigger crib would be better for them. But for somebody who just want a small family and a white picket fence and just the normal send your kids to college, you know what I'm saying? What they say, have 2.5 kids, send them to college, and then they get out of college, get a degree, they go get like a great job, and you built this business, you running your business, and then you got to set up to where when you pass on, your kids take over the business. Well, guess what? A smaller, more confined crib will be better for a family like that, because they're not focused on having a big network and hosting parties and shit. They're not focused on growing their income substantially to a great amount, right? They're good in the 6-figure area. You know what I mean? 300,000 a year, something like that. They're comfortable right there. And that's something that they operate with. Even though they make 300 racks in a year, they still got a nice crib because they more focused on savings and building a future for their children. So guess what? A smaller crib would be better for them. It's all subjective. So let's roll into this next start point, what I was talking about, equal. We are all equal, just different. I'm going to say that again. We are all equal, just different. Technically, a homeless person is just a homeless person, and you are a person with a home. That's it. Y'all are equal though. Listen. Y'all are equal. You just have different life situations. But at the end of the day, you're both equal. Seriously. So, the psychology of comparison says this in a nutshell. And like I said, I'm going to do another show on inferiority and superiority. But in a nutshell, the psychology of comparison says this. When it began, it was all about survival. So people stuck together. Then the more things expanded, right? The cars got better. The saber-toothed tiger became extinct. Humanity kept growing. The world kept growing, expanding. People became selfish. They were selfish. It wasn't about survival anymore collectively. It became more so about individual winning and individual losing. Right? It became divided between winners and losers instead of shit. We're all just people just here trying to survive and make it out of this thing that we somehow ended up in, somehow ended up born within this world, this earth. And we just trying to figure that shit out. it went from that to, yeah, I want a bigger car. I want a better car than that motherfucker over there. I want a badder bitch than that motherfucker over there. I want more bitches than that motherfucker over there. I want it all. I want to conquer. Feel me? And nothing wrong with that. That's the energy of a man. For example, first and foremost, a man wants to conquer. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as he's saying it as, I'm conquering for my family, and I'm not trying to conquer because I want to be superior to others. It's a difference. When you're trying to conquer for your own personal, like being inferior and wanting to conquer, is nothing wrong with that. You just have to use it in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So if I want to conquer, fuck yeah, let's do it. Because I know that I'm conquering to set my family up. I know that, listen, shit is going smooth over here. I deserve to conquer. When I leave here, I got so many seeds planted and trees growing. I deserve to conquer and have all that I want. And I'm not doing that, watching that person over there while I'm doing what I'm doing. My eyes are fixed on my board. My eyes are fixed on my life project. And nothing else outside of me influences me and makes me feel like I'm in competition with it, because it's impossible for me to be in competition with something outside of me. Man, it's around. Packboy Dolo checking out, man. This was a heavy one. The psychology of comparison. Like I told you, I'm gonna do another version of this about inferiority and superiority. We're gonna break that down. Shout out to Adlerian Psychology. The courage to be this light. Listen, y'all, go listen to that. Go listen to the courage to be this light. It's absolutely free on YouTube. It's like 6 hours long, but this information is liberating. Listen to it. Listen to it again. Listen to it again after that. Listening to it and listen to it and listen to it. Keep listening. Take notes. Soak it up. It's very valuable information, y'all. It's liberating. It will free your mind. You'll live a more peaceful and happy life that way. Period. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, man. I'm out. Peace.